And another question, of course, that was raised, like, okay, the Knights of Ren helped, uh, they helped Kylo Ren, wipe out Luke's academy. But where are they? I assume, are they training under Snook as well, or are they off somewhere? We don't know, because we keep hearing about this Knights of Ren are associated with Kylo Ren himself, and he leads them. Do they also use lightsabers? I believe in a flashback we saw, a brief flashback when Rey's character grabs onto Luke's lightsaber. You see a brief flashback of what happened in the rain. You see all the people they killed, which are Luke's students. However, I think only Kylo Ren had a lightsaber. I've seen the movie twice by now, so I really should remember this by heart. But yeah, I've been busy working, so I'm not entirely sure where the Knights of Ren are at, or if they're ever going to be relevant again. But that would be interesting to see more than the usual two Sith like we had in the prequels. But enough of that whole business, Kylo Ren. Because other than that, I thought that was fine. Kylo Ren was a great villain. I loved him. I don't think he's whiny like people are saying. He's a young, probably in his young, just the 20s probably. I don't think he was a whiny character. I thought he had the right amount of emotion without seeming like a whiny little brat. All at the same time, you could say the same thing about Luke Skywalker and Anakin before. So at the end of the day, even if he was supposedly whiny, it would still fit the character. So yeah, I say go for it. I mean, Anakin, technically speaking, didn't stop being whiny until after he became fully Darth Vader, and then he was just a cold, emotionless figure for a majority of his life until the very end when he decided to redeem himself. So yeah, to me, Colin, other than that small thing about his origins of why he wanted to join the dark side, I think he was fantastically put together villain. I guess I'll get my few other complaints out of the way before I talk about all the many good things. Uh, Captain Phasma, I didn't really. I had no real expectations for Captain Phasma, although I had a few friends hyping it up for me. Oh, this character's gonna be a badass, because every Star Wars movie, at least the prequels, anyways, usually had like a secondary villain who kind of served the purpose of being the main antagonist in the movie while Palpatine did stuff in the background. In Episode One, we had Darth Maul, who looked great, didn't have much dialogue, but he did have a really awesome fight scene. So that's half and half. Episode Two, we had Jango Fett and Count Dooku, both great villains, great action scenes, great dialogue. They were fantastic. It was sad to see them go. And of course, Episode Three had Count Dooku before he finally was killed off, and then they had General Grievous, who was really one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. This movie didn't really have that. It was pretty much just all Kylo Ren. You have the new Admiral type character who serves alongside Kylo Ren, but he was interesting, but not too much. Oh, you have a great speech before they blow up the Republic, and that was an awesome moment, by the way. And I thought Captain Phasma was going to be like the Jango Fett, General Grievous, Boba Fett, Count Dooku of the movie, but she was just more of a bureaucrat type of character who was just there, and then once finally, pitted against the heroes, it was more of a comedic effect, and she was just easily disposed of. So that was a bit of a disappointment. You know what? I didn't mind that much. Like, who cares, right? I mean, just one character that not like they said this is going to be a new badass character. It was just in the trailer who had some great shots. But like I said, that's just one thing that didn't really bother me too much. And then the only other thing I have to say right now, a major spoiler, Han dies. The one that really choked me out. I'm talking more about that in a few minutes. But what I do want to get out of the way with is that the next movie, because this movie had a really good ending. I loved the Rey we finally get to see Luke Skywalker again, and the whole movie they've been trying to find him, and they finally do, and they don't say anything. You just hear the music swell. She tries to hand him his lightsaber, and see Luke just looking like, no, like, okay, I have to get back into the flow of things. For Episode 8, I need to see Luke's reaction to Han's death. I do not want it to just start off with Luke, because we all know what's going to happen next, at least somewhat, that Luke's going to end up training Rey, obviously, into an actual full-on Jedi. What I don't want is them to complete disregard freaking Han's death. Well, specifically Luke's character, and then if any point Lando Calrissian comes in the picture, that death once again needs to be acknowledged. And whether Han's death will trigger a long-term change in Chewbacca's character, we'll see. But yeah, that's one of my big expectations I want because one of it's a very small thing, but still kind of annoyed me at the same time. Is that when Han Solo was killed, it was a great moment, a really great moment. I teared up. It was really powerful. My problem was when at the very end of the movie when Leia finally sees them and they come back from beating the First Order. We don't even see Leia interact with Chewbacca, which kind of bothered me. I mean, they've known each other longer than Rey's been in the picture. But then, of course, people have been saying rumors like, "Oh, Rey is Luke's daughter," which I'm pretty sure is true. I'm pretty freaking sure. I would take that bet gladly, knowing I'm probably right. That being said, however, I still wanted to see Leia interact with Chewie about, I'm sorry that your friend is gone. But that's once again not too big of a deal. I mean, that's just a little thing that bothered me because we do see plenty of shots of Chewbacca reacting to what happened, and those shots in themselves are really depressing. Seeing how him react to his friend dying. Uh, and I guess that's next about the death of Han Solo, which pretty much is a echo of what happened to Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan, when he, finally saw Darth Vader again after all those years on the Death Star. Uh, the moments are pretty good examples of they mirror each other very, very, very well. And to me, honestly, I like this moment a whole lot more than that moment. Just for me, I know people probably want to crucify me right now. They say this, but just because I felt a lot more of the emotion this time around. Uh, Obi-Wan and Vader fighting was, it was an all right scene. The fighting was all right. The lack of music was okay. The great thing about that fight was the dialogue between the old friends. You could tell in the dialogue they used to be old friends and now they're enemies. And the duel basically ends with Vader supposed to be killing Obi-Wan, although we pretty much know now that he actually used the Force to, turn to Force Ghost. So I'm just going to call it become one with the Force, whatever you want to call it. This was a very emotional moment in the movie. Everything got quiet and everyone was watching, Chewbacca, Rey, Finn, and seeing the father and son interaction was just one of the most heartbreaking moments in the entire movie. And then seeing Kylo Ren make the, very selfish decision to, gain further power on the dark side instead of embracing his light side was fantastic. And I thought it was a fantastic, spin on the whole concept. We already saw in the prequel trilogy the whole concept of being tempted by the dark side and what it can give you. So this time I have to see the opposite of it. Kind of what we saw in episode 6, where Vader was resisting the light side, but eventually it overtook him and he decided to, join the good side again. We see the same thing here. Kylo Ren is basically going through the same transformation. However, he, unlike Vader, or like Vader, I should say, I don't really know, depending on which movie you're referring to, but he chooses the dark side again and, kills his father. And that was just one of the most intense scenes in the whole movie for me. Heartbreaking and great score by John Williams. Really great score by John Williams. I've got to buy this soundtrack next paycheck. That was amazing. I loved it. It was fantastic. Not quite as uh, phenomenal as something like Episode 3's score, but because that just holds place for me as one of my favorite Star Wars scores ever. Episode 3 really does have probably one of the best. But this is still a really great score too, though. Really great. There's some other things I want to say this movie that are really well done. All the environments look fantastic, and the practical effects were amazing. The CGI was already really good, and everything looked fantastic. I love the design they did, everything, and the practical effects. It's great to see a movie like this come out where the practical effects matter so much. You saw, the Admiral Akbar. It looked fantastic, and it wasn't CGI or anything like that. You saw a lot of creatures that looked very realistic, and you looked like you could touch them. Not because CGI was so good, but you could tell it was the whole animatronics mixed with a bit of CGI, just a tad bit, and it looks fantastic. The effects were freaking great. CGI and the practical effects were amazing. Costume design, everything looked amazing in the movie. Visually, The movie is gorgeous. Uh, Emotionally, it's fantastic. The characters were great. A lot of the dialogue was great too. Some of the humor to me was fantastic. To me, it was the first time we've had humor in Star Wars that didn't feel like stilted dialogue, and it felt more natural. Like so, very there are very few moments in the prequel trilogy where the humor was natural to me. A lot of it was very forced and like, I believe in the whole of episode one, two, and three. Episode one supposed to humor Jar Jar Binks, which was just awful. Episode two, I think the only humor we may have really gotten may have been like a joke or two from Obi-Wan, which are always great because Ewan McGregor did a great job with the character, and we got a few CP3L funny moments where okay, I mean yeah, it's fine. In episode three, we had some funny exchanges between Anakin and Obi-Wan that were great, and a few other moments. But this one, it was good to see that every character had a little moment to like be humorous and just it makes them feel more human, and you can always appreciate that in a movie. I'm very glad they went that route and making it super super serious. Although it definitely had serious moments, which elevates the film to a higher tier for me. So overall, I definitely would give the movie about a solid 9 out of 10, and I won't go any lower than that because the movie was just, like I said, just phenomenally well done in pretty much every aspect as far as I'm concerned. But little small flaws there are, to me, they were there basically to lure you into seeing the second movie, and that's how you know it was a great movie because the whole time I was like, I just don't want this to end. I want to see what happens next, which is pretty much just the same feeling all the other Star Wars movies have ever given me. That's the thing I've always admired about the Star Wars trilogies, both prequel and the original. Both times you watch them, you just always want more. And I'm glad to say this movie did the same exact thing for me. By the time it ended, I was like, damn it, damn it, damn it. I want more. I want to see what happens next. And that's really how you know you made a really good Star Wars movie. If people want more, you've done a really good job with it. And I'm pumped for episode 8. I'm hoping it's like 3 hours long. It probably won't be. Of course, this movie was just about as long as any other Star Wars movie, but I just can't wait to see more. And gladly, we don't have to wait a whole like 3 years this time. We only wait 2 years, and in the meantime, we get other Star Wars movies, so that's fine. The wait will be well worth it, I'm assured. So that wraps up my Star Wars review. The other section we posted probably next week, honestly speaking, because I still have a lot. I have work today, for Christ's sake, and then up until Christmas, maybe even on Christmas Day itself. That's what I get for working at a movie theater. That being said, though, yeah, the movie's fantastic. I expect the next 4 sections to come out. I'll probably do one more at the end of December, and then the last 3 or so I'll probably save for 2016 in anticipation of the other Resurgence trailer, which should be surfacing soon, I assume. I mean, I believe July 2016 is, yeah, it's right around the corner, so let's hope that Godzilla Resurgence trailer comes out soon, as well as a full body shot of new Godzilla. Let's let's pray. Let's pray together. But that's it, guys. See you next time.